All right, let's dive deep into this. I know why you're here. You're searching, you're seeking something, maybe even wondering if you're one of the chosen ones. And you've probably heard all about the signs, the inner knowing, the spiritual awakening, the feeling of being different from everyone around you. But we're not going to talk about the common signs. No, we're going to go much deeper. I'm about to reveal something that only 1% of chosen ones experience. This is the rare sign that sets you apart not just from the world, but from other chosen ones too. And believe me, when you understand this, it will change everything. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like your struggles, your challenges, your pain are far beyond what most people could even imagine? I'm talking about a level of isolation, doubt, and hardship that makes you question everything, your purpose, your path, even your sanity. If this is resonating with you, then you're already on the right track. But before we jump into the rare sign itself, you need to understand why it exists. Why you? Why this 1%? You see, the universe doesn't just randomly select people to go through the most intense spiritual transformations. It chooses the strongest souls. It chooses those who are capable of holding immense power, but first it tests them. And these tests don't come in the form of easy lessons or simple challenges. No, these tests come in the form of deep, soul-wrenching experiences that break you down completely so that you can be rebuilt. And this process is not for everyone. Most people would crumble under this pressure, but not you. If you're still standing, if you're still here, it means you're one of the chosen ones who has been handpicked by the universe to carry a higher frequency.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most chosen ones go through the awakening. They start to see the truth behind the illusions of the world. They begin to understand their purpose. But for the 1%, there's something more. There's a rare sign that only a few experience, and it's this, the feeling of being completely abandoned, not just by people, but by the universe itself. It's as if, after everything you've gone through, the universe just goes silent. You no longer feel the guidance, the synchronicities, the signs. You're left in a void, a spiritual desert where nothing makes sense anymore. But why? Why would the universe do this to you? Especially when you've already proven your strength, your dedication, your commitment to the path. The answer is profound. The universe isn't abandoning you. It's elevating you. It's removing all external guidance so that you can finally tap into the deepest level of your own power. It's giving you the opportunity to stand fully in your own sovereignty, to become the master of your own reality. This is the rare sign that only 1% of chosen ones experience the complete stripping away of external validation, leaving you with nothing but your own inner knowing. But let me ask you, how do you handle this? How do you navigate a world where it feels like even the universe has turned its back on you? This is where the true test begins. Most people, even chosen ones, rely on signs, synchronicities, and external guidance to stay on their path. But the 1%, they're being called to something higher. They're being asked to trust themselves completely, to find the power within, without needing any confirmation from the outside world. This is what sets you apart. And here's the thing, this stage of the journey is the most challenging. It's where many give up. It's where doubt creeps in like a shadow, whispering that you've been forgotten, that you've lost your way. But in reality, this is where you're closest to your breakthrough. The silence, the void, the feeling of abandonment, it's all an illusion designed to push you to your limits, to force you to access a level of strength and wisdom that you didn't even know you had. Now that you know about the void, let's go deeper into what it really means. You see, the void isn't just a place of emptiness. It's a place of immense power, It's where creation happens. But most people are terrified of the void because it strips away everything they've ever known. In the void, there's no certainty, no guarantees, no signs from the universe that everything is going to be okay. It's just you and the vast unknown. And that's exactly where you need to be. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you had no control, like everything was falling apart and there was no one there to help you? How did you respond? Did you panic? Did you try to force things to happen? Or did you surrender to the experience, trusting that somehow, some way, you would find your way through? This is the key. The 1% who experience this rare sign are being called to master the art of surrender. And I don't mean the kind of surrender where you give up or resign to your fate. No, I'm talking about a deep spiritual surrender where you trust the process so completely that you no longer need to control the outcome. You let go of your need for external validation, for signs, for anything outside of yourself. You trust your own inner guidance, your own intuition, your own power. This is what the void is teaching you. But here's the twist. The moment you fully surrender, the moment you stop needing anything from the outside world, the universe comes back. The signs return. The synchronicities start happening again. But this time they're not guiding you, they're confirming what you already know. And you've moved from a place of needing guidance to a place of being the guidance. You become the master of your own reality. And that's the rare sign. It's not just about feeling abandoned or going through the void. It's about what happens when you come out on the other side. You emerge stronger, wiser, and more powerful than ever before. You no longer need the universe to tell you what to do because you've tapped into your own inner knowing. You've become one with the universe, and now, instead of following signs, you create them. But let me ask you, are you ready for this level of mastery? Are you ready to let go of everything you thought you needed, everything you thought was guiding you, and trust yourself completely? Because this is the ultimate test, and it's not for everyone. Most people will never experience this level of spiritual growth because they're too afraid to let go. They're too attached to the safety and comfort of external signs and guidance. But the 1%, they're different. You're different. You've been chosen not just to follow the path, but to create it. You're here to lead, to pioneer, to be the example for others to follow. And that requires a level of trust and surrender that most people will never understand. But you can do it. In fact, you're already doing it. The very fact that you're still here, still searching, still seeking, means that you're ready for this next level. All right, now we're getting into the heart of it. If you've made it this far, you're probably starting to see the bigger picture. So the rare sign that only 1% of chosen ones experience is deeply connected to what spiritual teachers often call the dark night of the soul. This is the phase where everything you thought you knew about yourself, your purpose, your path gets stripped away. It's not just a period of doubt or confusion. It's a complete dismantling of your old self. But why does this happen? Why does the dark night of the soul always seem to follow after periods of intense spiritual growth? Here's the truth. Every time you level up spiritually, your old self can't come with you. The ego, the fears, the limiting beliefs, they all have to go. And the only way to let them go is to face them head on. This is why the dark night of the soul is so intense. It forces you to confront everything that's been holding you back, everything that's been keeping you from fully stepping into your power. But here's the thing. Most people think that the dark night of the soul is a punishment, that it's something they have to endure in order to get to the light. But that's not true. The dark night isn't a punishment, it's a gift. It's an opportunity to see yourself clearly, without the masks, without the illusions. It's a chance to face your deepest fears and realize that they have no power over you. Let me ask you, what are you most afraid of? What's the one thing that you've been avoiding? The one fear that keeps you up at night? Because here's the truth, that fear is the key to your transformation. The dark night of the soul is showing you exactly where you need to go, exactly what you need to face in order to step into your true power. But most people resist this. They try to avoid the darkness, to run from it, to distract themselves with anything that will numb the pain. To the 1%, they don't run. They face it head on. They walk through the darkness with their eyes wide open, knowing that the only way out is through. And when you come out on the other side, you're not the same person. You've shed the old self. You've let go of the fears, the doubts, the insecurities. You've emerged as the person you were always meant to be. But here's the most important part. When you come out of the dark night of the soul, you don't just return to your old life. You step into a new reality, a new version of yourself that is aligned with your highest purpose. Now we've talked about the void, the dark night of the soul, and the rare sign that only 1% of chosen ones experience. But there's one more piece to this puzzle, the final awakening. This is the moment when everything clicks, when you finally understand why you've gone through everything you have. It's the moment when you fully step into your power, when you stop doubting yourself, when you stop questioning your path, and you start living it. But here's the thing, the final awakening isn't a destination. It's not a place you arrive at and then just coast through life. No, the final awakening is a new beginning. It's the start of a new chapter, one where you're no longer seeking answers because you are the answer. You've become the master of your own reality. You've tapped into your own inner wisdom, and now you're ready to share that wisdom with the world. But here's the question, what will you do with this power? How will you use it? Because the 1% aren't just destined to awaken, they're chosen to lead. You're here to be an example, to show others what's possible when you fully step into your power. You're here to guide others through their own voids, their own dark nights of the soul, their own transformations. So, how will you lead? How will you use your gifts, your wisdom, your power to make a difference in the world? This is the final test, because it's not enough to awaken, you have to do something with it. You have to use your gifts to uplift others, to raise the collective consciousness, to bring more light into the world. And that's the rare sign that only 1% of chosen ones have. It's not just about going through the void or facing the dark night of the soul. It's about what you do after you've awakened. It's about stepping fully into your power and using that power to create something extraordinary. So stop doubting yourself. Stop questioning whether you're one of the chosen ones. You are. You've been chosen not just to awaken but to lead. And now it's time to step into your role. It's time to stop playing small and start living the life you were destined for. The world needs your light. The world needs your gifts, and only you can bring them. So, what are you waiting for?